Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is a little bit different. We are in my house in the office with Alan Tuftyhead. He likes to sit on my lap and look out the window at the rabbits into the garden. But today's video is my anxiety story. So it's a long one. I'll try and keep things a bit briefer, but the story itself takes over a number of years. It takes over my whole life, to be fair, but what we'll specifically be talking about is my diagnosis, how I got to my diagnosis, and how it affects me now. So let's start off back in 2016. It was November, and I had a sickness bug. Just like anybody else. It was November the 12th, 2016, and I was sick twice. And that was it really. I didn't go to work the next day and then got better. Except, unfortunately, I have something called Emetephobia, which is the fear of vomiting, being sick, and little did I know how much this plagued my life until this moment, when then for the next 6 months, every time I would try to leave the house, I would feel like I was going to be sick. Except the thing with anxiety is that it would make you feel sick even though you're not going to be sick, but because I was so scared of being sick, it would make me more anxious. So what sort of transpired was that I would just not go out. I ended up losing my job. We got made redundant, but I was obviously very easy to get rid of because I wasn't really going to work anyway. I had a horse at the time called Millie, who I just stopped riding. I would go up and do a basic care, but I wasn't really sleeping, so I'd go up really early in the morning and do what I needed to do, get it done. I had a friend at the same yard who would do the other half of the day for me. So then I would spend the rest of my time in my house, and not only in my house, in my bedroom. So it got to the point where I couldn't leave my bedroom, I couldn't eat, I lost a lot of weight, and yeah, it was a really bad time, but I didn't know it was anxiety. So I actually thought I had some sort of stomach tumour, which is also probably part of the anxiety. I believed, the thing is it would start from literally the moment I woke up in the morning, and I could not fathom how something well, to be honest, nobody even mentioned anxiety at all. I just thought that there must be something physically wrong with me, so I'd go to the doctors. I got blood tests, I got all the samples tested. I had, what else did I have? I had intolerance tests, which did show that I was intolerant to dairy and wheat, but only very mildly. So they said that it probably wouldn't really make me feel how I was feeling. So I kept going to the doctors. I would describe to them how I was feeling, how I didn't feel like I could go out, how I felt like I couldn't breathe quite a lot. I felt very short of breath. If I tried to I just felt like I had to take very deep breaths all the time. And at the same time, I was going out with a boy who wasn't very understanding of the situation and made the whole thing harder, because he would become very angry at me because I obviously wasn't going round to his house. I was 22 at the time, so I would, at that age where I should be going out, clubbing, partying, drinking, whatever. but I wasn't doing any of that. I remember vividly one day he wanted to go into Solihull Town Centre to go shopping, and I said I'd go. Got to his house, and just went, I can't go. Sat on his stairs, cried, and left. And he just was really, really angry at me. And that was an ongoing theme throughout this whole time. So this whole period was between November 2016 and I want to say May 2017. And so I went to get an endoscopy, which is when they put a camera down your throat to see what's going on in your stomach, because I thought I had some sort of stomach tumour or something. I don't know. I just thought there's got to be something going on down there. And so they sedated me, but whilst I was sedated I still pulled the tube out. So they were like, we can't do that again, that's really dangerous, blah blah blah. And again, the boyfriend I was with was really angry at me because he had decided this would be the time we'd find out what was going on and everything would get better. And obviously we hadn't got any answers because they hadn't managed to do the endoscopy. Then I had a barium swallow, which is when you swallow, it was like a lemonade-y sort of thing, a fizzy sort of, I don't know, it didn't taste that bad actually, but you swallow it and they x-ray you and they watch it going down your stomach and they see whether there's any blockages, I think. And I think they said if anything was found, then I would have to be like put under general anaesthetic and have to have the endoscopy again whilst I was like asleep. But anyway, nothing came of it. And I think it must have been like the 10th visit to the doctor, and one of them said, oh, have you thought it might be in your head? And I was like, no, because it's not. I'm very poorly. But turned out it was. They gave me fluoxetine. I think it was only 20 gram of fluoxetine, and the sickness feeling just stopped after about, I think it was a few days to a week. Just suddenly I was just stopped. It was nuts. But then the problem with antidepressants is, although they get rid of the anxious feelings and those sort of negative feelings, they do leave you feeling very numb. So then I'd gone from feeling everything really intensely to, sorry, Alan's just trying to get comfortable. You're right there, pal. Are you quite finished? So then I had gone from feeling all these really intense feelings to feeling absolutely nothing. And you don't feel anxious or sad, but you don't feel happy either. You just don't feel anything. And that feeling was just, and is still, just awful. It's very dehumanizing, I think is the word I would use to describe it. You don't feel the joy in things that you used to feel it in. This isn't about you. You don't feel things that you would used to feel proud of or happy with, you just stop feeling anything like it. And so I toyed a lot with different medications. I was on sertraline for a little bit, and yeah, that sort of never really went away. So let me talk about anxiety for me now. So my anxiety these days is still very much plaguing my life, probably more so now than it has done in the last 5 years. I think it's actually getting progressively worse. I don't know if my body's getting used to the medications. I now take venlafaxine, which was a different one. I take, I think, quite a small dosage, but I don't want to take a higher dosage because then it takes away all the feelings. So I'm trying to find a happy medium where I can still feel something and have some sort of emotions, but also be able to live a day-to-day life. However, for me, I feel like everyone hates me all the time. And what I have forgot to mention is I've had a lot of therapy as well in this last like 8 years. I've had CBT, just general talking therapy. I've had six, 7 therapists, different ones. Some paid through work, some I pay for privately, and it's not cheap. It's like £75 for like 45 minutes. And I think the benefit of therapy was that I can understand why I feel the way I do, in that feeling that everybody hates me. I know where it's come from, you know, and all that stuff, all those memories. But what it hasn't done is stop those feelings, and I'm not sure it ever will. I'm not sure I'll ever stop feeling like this. So I really overthink everything, and anxiety for me is now very subconscious, in that I'll have periods where I can't sleep. I'll have periods where I just want to cry all the time, and things like that. And I don't know why. Like, I'm not thinking of any there's nothing consciously that means I can't sleep. I'm not like worrying about something consciously. And I think that's the difference between my anxiety and maybe other people's. I don't know. This is just my story with it. But I don't lie there in bed and think like, oh my God, I'm so worried about this exam or whatever. There's nothing in my conscious brain that I'm worried about, which I feel like makes it harder, because I don't know how. I can't fix it. I can't fix what's making me worried because I don't know what it is. And so now I just sort of live each day feeling hated by everyone is probably the main feeling I have at the moment. I feel like I'm not really worthy of friends. I don't really feel like I'm worthy of Roxy. I feel like if she had a different owner, they would ride her better. I feel like she'd be jumping and she would love it. And that in itself is quite debilitating. I think it's very annoying for James, bless him. James is an absolute angel, has been since the day I've met him. I think I must ask him at least 5 times a day if he hates me or if he still loves me or whatever. And yeah, it's a really tricky one. I really overthink everything. If people don't reply to me, it's because they hate me. If friends don't like posts on social media, I think they hate me. If people cancel on me, like if we're going somewhere, I think they hate me. I still very much struggle going out for meals, and things like that. I still get very anxious about that, and that's another subconscious thing, because I don't know why I'm anxious about going out for food or whatever. I obviously like food, otherwise I wouldn't be, you know, slightly overweight. But I don't know. having animals is very, very healing, in that at that time when I wasn't really leaving the house, I had to go and do Millie. On days where I don't want to leave the house now, I have to walk Alan and Skip. He thinks this is all about him. Yeah, I think anxiety for me is always going to be there, and I do feel like it is ruining my life, and I can't see it getting better. I can't see a time where I won't worry, and yeah. And I remember the horrible ex saying to me, if you're like this, then you should never have kids. The other way in which it really affects my life now is that if, because of the emetephobia side of it, if James is sick, for example, he had a sickness bug earlier this year, and I wouldn't let him out the bedroom. He obviously wasn't actually locked away, but I was very obvious with him that I didn't want him anywhere near me. I didn't want him in the house spreading his germs. And I know obviously generally people try not to get ill, but it's to the point where I get really worried about it. I went out for a meal with friends just this week, and one of my friends said that his little girl and his wife had been poorly, I think two days prior to when we were meeting up, and then I had to move seats because I couldn't concentrate on just having a nice time with my friends, because all I could think about was that I might get poorly through him. And that's also not a very nice way to live either, and it's probably very annoying for people around me, because they're like, mate, just get a grip. So that's another way in which it affects my life currently. So I think I'm going to wrap this up, and I don't know how informative this really was. But general anxiety disorder is a really debilitating condition. And I'm getting married in just over 2 years, and I'm already anxious about it, which is ridiculous, because why? What am I worried about? I don't know. I'm worried that people will have a rubbish time and they'll think that was the worst wedding ever. I'm worried. I'm worried about being anxious on the day and not being able to enjoy myself. And I don't know. It's just ridiculous, isn't it? It is such a debilitating thing to have. And I don't think I'll ever not have it. I don't think I'll ever feel like everybody doesn't hate me, and that my friends don't hate me or wish I wasn't there. Yeah. I'm not sure I'll post this. Just on the off chance I do post this. Thanks for watching, and I'm sorry it's a bit depressing. And yeah, we'll go back to horse content next week, I think. I don't think mental health talking is really my forte. Okay, thank you for watching. Bye.